All right. Wheels up.
Wait.
You know how we do. Well-traveled. Experienced in this thing.
Trust me.
In multiple facets, different areas. So, back with us again.
Yes.
Boy, this is episode 6, season 2.
Season 2.
Wow, is this the
finale? You know. So we have to come. We have to come a bit special on this one.
Yeah.
So we start as we need to finish. We live.
We learn.
We're
very live.
Trust me. First and foremost, formalities. Wipe your feet, meaning subscribe.
Tell them.
Click follow, click share. Spread the word. We're here and we're not going anywhere.
Oi.
Let's get into what we've got happening today, man.
So here's the thing, right? Today, we're talking about walking between worlds. So, ever feel like you're leading a double life by day? Navigating emails, doing the school runs or whatever, but quietly your creative energy isn't energying. In this episode of Walking Between Worlds, we're getting honest about the creative crossover and talking about that strange and sometimes awkward journey of trading in your dream for steady pay and a health plan. You know what we're talking about. Them plus 20s know the thing, yeah? Right. So to help us stride through the discussion, we've got someone who is a rare dual threat professional. Deep that, yeah? No idiot thing, not no side man business, professional. I like that word, you know what I mean? I'm a big man and I like professionals, yeah? Cool. So he's reached the heights in both the UK hip hop scene and the London legal world. Imagine that. His achievements span international music tours, award-nominated legal practice, and he is an advocacy for diversity in the arts. A partner at one of the most prestigious UK media and entertainment law firms. This is what we do here. I'm just saying. Yeah. He's picked up Artist Lawyer of the Year awards.
Whoa.
He was named in Billboard's 2024 Top Music Lawyers list as one of the best attorneys in the global music business. Come on, man. We're not playing. My peoples, let's give it up for the rapper. Suits always dapper. The man who walks between worlds with a beer or a frapper. Mr. Nick Eziefula, a.k.a. Essa Hip Hop. Come on, man. Shout outs, man. You ain't seen nothing like this before.
Trust me, man.
You get me?
Thank you. Yeah, man. Listen, now it's a pleasure, man. It's funny because I've seen you around for a while. I've seen you haven't seen me. You know what I mean? And I've just been seeing you do your thing. You know, but we're gonna get into a bit more. But we just want to say, you know, we appreciate you for coming through.
I'm excited about this. Came in, saw some of the other guests you were having. I'm like, whoa, I'm next. That's fine.
No pressure.
No pressure.
You know what I mean? But it's all good. We know you handle it. So it's you've one of the things that I'd imagine that you've had to walking between worlds is feeling that daily pressure. One that most people can't even begin to understand.
I mean, I grew up with pressure from early, from a kid, you know, so pressure has always been there in different ways and you get used to it.
I hear it.
You have to. So yeah, before we get into it though,
tradition.
You know, here at Where We Live, We Learn, we like to play a game called 3 and 30.
You are level like we agreed.
I'm inside the shop now. It's empty.
Is there a queue?
No, there's no queue.
There's no queue. At level.
Why is that a problem, like?
Well, you seated.
Yes.
Where did you tell him to meet me? My man said he's seated at level, bro. As your brother ever touched a couch at level? There's only one level. When have you ever sat down at level, bro? My man said there's no queue. Brother, that's the staple on ends, bro. When we get to level, there's a queue. Obviously, man don't do no queue. There's a queue.
Yeah? So, we're going to ask you 3 questions and you've got 30 seconds to answer it. Yeah? It's going to be relating to something you are doing now, something you plan on doing, or something you would change given your lived experience and perspective. If you flop, there is a forfeit.
Oh no.
What's the forfeit? We're not going to tell you.
Pressure, like you said.
Think a man like yourself, I think you'll be able to do this. Yeah? So, does that make sense, yeah?
I'm ready. Yeah.
So the 30 seconds starts when Lilia Starts the clock.
Go.
1. Your favorite song from your latest project and why in one word?
The song's called Right Now, and the one word is craft.
2. Your 3 biggest hip hop influences?
Black Thought, Black Twang, and the Native Tongues.
3. One career move you would make at the start of your career if you could restart your journey?
Leap is what I would say. Don't wait for the perfect time. Leap. Go now, even if it's not the perfect time.
Boy, what was that on the clock?
He got in with Leap just
Oh,
You see?
Hey, 29 seconds.
that's a
29
valid answer.
seconds.
Leap
That's
is
not
a good
bad.
answer.
That's not bad. I think at the moment, out of all our guests, Miss Banks holds the record, didn't it?
I think Flash Johnson,
Flash Johnson, what?
17 seconds.
Hey,
I think that, but
Flash Johnson.
Yeah, but listen,
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Those was some good questions, some good answers, especially answer 3. Like, yeah. Stop waiting. There's no such time as perfect. You know, do it now. Because the longer you procrastinate, sometimes waiting for the perfect time is an excuse. You know, procrastination could be like a reason. Just get on and do it. But anyway,
every moment is the perfect time because ultimately it's practice.
Yeah.
That's it.
And there's a window of opportunity. And if you act within that window, that's when you get the best results. If you wait trying to find the perfect time, you might miss the window. And I've done that in the past. And then later tried to make it happen. And it's like, oh, I'm still doing it. I'm doing it really well, but it's not within the window. So you don't get what you want.
You're going to learn today.
Come on now.
You're going to learn.
Come on now.
Because we live in a world, it spins. Even the globe spins.
Doesn't stop.
So when you think, oh, tomorrow, my mum always says it, stop putting off things till tomorrow. You don't know what tomorrow brings. Do it today.
Especially in today's world.
Exactly. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
we like this. We like this.
My pops used to say, do the right thing at the right time. I'm just going to say.
You got Papa.
Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Big that up. Yeah, all right, man. Let's get straight into the pod. Like, man, brilliant 3 and 30. Our first segment is called The Middleman. Yeah? So, we're going to warm you up, like, just really light question. What does a day in the life of an entertainment lawyer look like?
So I'm on calls with clients. I'm handling paperwork. I'm doing emails. Sometimes that is negotiating deals. Sometimes it's providing advice. Sometimes it's helping to run our business as well. It's a demanding career. There are high standards. It's a profession, you know, there's professional ethics, professional standards involved, so it can be quite demanding, but it's very fulfilling for me. Like I get to really develop my mind. It's intellectually stimulating and it's a real challenge. So that's kind of what it feels like day to day.
I like that, man.
That's the job itself. I mean, that's only part of the day for me though.
I hear it. I hear it. But it sounds like you love it.
Oh, I do.
I think coming into this conversation, there's a part of me that would have thought like, you know, there may be an element of you saying, I don't really enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. There's
you know
bits
what I'm saying?
I don't.
I've transitioned.
It's like any job. There's bits I don't enjoy. So like, I don't know. There's admin to do. There's also like haggling and negotiating over what I get paid for doing my work and trying to protect my value. You know, all those kind of things are like they're the more frustrating aspects of the job.
But those are transferable skills.
No, absolutely. But funny enough, go back to what you said. Obviously, you was breaking down your day, and you said that's only part of it. What's the other half of the day?
So there's parenthood. So I've got 3 children, and so there's always and one of my children has like additional needs, or at least one. I should probably say at this moment. And there's quite a demanding fatherhood role that I have. So that always takes a chunk of the time as well, and a chunk of my focus, I should say. You know, but then there's always creative stuff going on as well. So I tend to write bars every day. It might be a whole song. It might be more than one. It might be a line. It might be an idea or a concept. But pretty much every day, something creative happens on that level.
That's perfect. That takes us on to the next question, actually. So who are your musical influences growing up?
Well, I was
a lot of black,
Black Thought, Black Twang. So,
Everything black.
Everything black. Black Thought is like... Yeah, some of it.
Yo.
I mean, for me, it's like there was a lot of American acts that I looked up to growing up, because that was hip hop culture is my thing. Yeah, that's what I love. And at the time I was getting into it, it was very dominated by the American acts, and the UK-based acts, for example, weren't as prominent. But when I first saw Black Twang, who's a London, UK-based artist, who kind of broke down a lot of doors and pioneered the art form over here, that was inspiring. That was when that's why I felt like when you asked about inspirations, he's a direct, like I would not have picked up the mic in the first place if it wasn't for him. Yeah, man. You know? Yeah. And then when I got to eventually meet him and know him and like connect with him, that to me is like, it's amazing for me to see someone that I kind of put up on a pedestal like that and to connect with him. So him for sure. But then beyond that, I mean, the whole kind of, to me, golden era of 90s hip hop, right? So I'm showing my age.
You ain't lying.
Shamelessly.
Man. No, you
ain't. What it is.
You know, like Nas, Biggie, Wu-Tang, Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, Mobb Deep. This was the era that I kind of grew up through. Yeah. And it, to me, is a very hard era to surpass. Like it was, you know, really, really high level of creativity, diversity of sounds. Everyone had their own lane and style. You couldn't copy someone else's, otherwise you'd be torn down. So it was very like groundbreaking.
And it might just be me, but it wasn't just hip hop at that time.
No,
everything just seemed to be fresh. Whether it was a type of rock or whatever, like they call it the golden era for a reason, innit? Yeah, like I'll call it the platinum era because certain other people are claiming golden. Call it the platinum era. Everything coming out was cold. Like the music was so new, so diverse. Yeah. You had options.
Dance music was like the dance music forms then that were really blown up. Jungle like emerging, and then even rock, like I don't know, grunge and like Nirvana and all that stuff. There was just amazing things happening all over.
I think, my gosh, man, you got me thinking. I miss the 90s, man. You see those things sometimes on Instagram and stuff like that when it shows that they play that music. It shows all the stuff that we used to do in the 90s, man. I think like you're right, bro. It's like a pivotal time for everything. The end of the millennium. You know what I mean?
Do you ever watch footage from like raves from that time and you see no phones, everybody in the moment connecting, and you think,
careful, man, you're gonna upset the Gen Z.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We can't talk like that. It makes
they're here to live and learn.
Yeah, but we don't want to sound old.
I don't want to alienate.
Can't go back. But listen, man, you know how things are cycles, man. But those times was a beautiful time for music and everything in general. 100%, man. 100%.
No, cold.
So, how much has your corporate role helped you shape your musical journey, man, Essa?
Wow. So it's helped in a lot of ways. I mean, it's helped in direct ways. So I can read my own contracts. And in fact, I did a deal with a label once and they told me to write the contract. You know?
Run it back. What? They said, yo, you're going to do the work to bump you. And you're like, nah. That's what they were thinking, didn't it? Essa was like, no, one step ahead.
No, but it was they were like, they're friends as well. And they were like, we're going to do a deal. What's the point in them sending me a contract? Sometimes they even pick my brains for advice on things. So they're like, why are we going to send you a contract? And why don't you just tell us what it should be? So, I mean, that's a more extreme example, but there's more subtle ways that it interplays. So I guess the discipline of, having to be patient and put work into something and learn your craft and all of that, which is what I've done as a lawyer. Yeah. There's some of that I apply to what I do in music as well. And I guess there's the contacts I have, people I know in the industry. I probably don't make enough use of it in some ways.
That's crazy. No, let him flow.
Yeah, sometimes I don't really ask of people what I could be asking of them.
Why is that?
This is, I think, we're getting to a deeper level here now.
Go ahead.
When you're like very driven, and also it's something in the way I grew up and was raised to be ambitious, to be hardworking, and to really push to achieve things. Sometimes you get into a mindset where you don't ask for help, or you don't feel comfortable always accepting help or receiving it. And that is actually limiting. It's a limiting mindset. And I say this from my own experience. I'm owning up to this. Like, this is something I've displayed in the past, and I'm trying to learn from it and be more comfortable asking for help and receiving it, because I can't do everything. And there's this DIY mentality. I'm not knocking it. The hustle, the work ethic, the DIY mentality carries you a long way. And it's important, because ultimately no one's going to care about your dream, your vision as much as you. So you do need to carry a lot of that yourself. But if you don't ever ask for help, you'll never really fulfill it, because you can't do all of it yourself. So, yeah.
So in your role, there's like, it's going to be considered like kind of data protected, for better way of wording, yeah? How do you, is the question, find, do you have a way of leveraging the contacts that you're able to bump into? Because you're in entertainment, you're in media, and you're a musician. Surely the people that come through the door are relevant to your field in terms of supporting your creative energy.
They are. And there's a difficult, my life's all about balance and difficult balance, right? And treading a thin line, really. A trapeze, I like that. It's a good analogy, because if someone comes to the office to speak to me about what I can do with them in a business capacity in the legal world, and I'm like, but have you heard my new album? Have you heard my, like, that's not the right balance, right? But then sometimes, you know what I mean? But then there's been people I've been working with in that way for years. You're imagining it, right?
It's bad still.
Here's my listen to my CD type of vibe, you can't do that.
When you say it out loud, it's crazy. It's
you know
crazy.
What I mean? So you have to be mindful of that. But maybe I probably go a bit too far with it, because some people have been like, you never told me about your creative work, and I love it's sick. Like, I could have done this with you, and I can, and then we connect and do stuff.
I think that's more of an organic thing. Like, if you present your present your piece and people see your piece, then create that opportunity for them to suggest something. But you said balance, so I think that's it. But carry on. Sorry.
No, it's the balance, and I mean, I think sometimes I get it wrong where I don't push that enough.
I was going to say that.
Or I hold it back a bit.
It's marketed, isn't it? Ultimately, when we deal with creativity, the idea is to like get your creativity out as much as possible. And it's crazy, like, just from a normal position, if you don't say what you're doing, people don't know it's there.
They don't know.
So if you don't talk it, how are they going to know? It's the same thing, same way the algorithm works.
Yeah, you don't promote your stuff.
You have to push your stuff. And just from my experience, working security strategy and operations, like, I understand the difficulty, because I've got access, high level access to very important people, and it's finding that right balance. But for me, it was all, I think, Rem, you just said it. It's always trying to find that organic space where you can say, you know what, okay, cool. Some of my dudes from the NFL come over. I'm like, yo, what's going on? They're like, listen, I got my dude in New York who does X, Y, Z, and you need to holler at him. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, stuff is happening.
Doors open.
Doors are opening crazy.
Yeah. But if you do it in that way, then they'll respect you more. Right. And the connection is more genuine. And so when the opportunities come up, you're more likely to really take advantage of it. But some people, they don't understand that balance and that respectful way to approach it, and they can mess it up a bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a friend of mine told me off recently for being too downplaying too much what I do creative.
It's a British thing. It's a British thing.
It's a British thing, and it's also just my persona. I'm not really I'm quite a quiet, introspective type person generally, despite being a rapper, you know what I mean? So when I'm in certain rooms and they're like, this is Nick, he's a lawyer, he's also an artist. And I'm like, yeah, I come from a background as an artist. And that's almost all I say about it sometimes. He's like, tell them what you do. Like, don't like be modest about it. Tell them, because there's more to it than that, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
You're right. You're right.
So,
I'm sure we've all been there at a time, at some point.
Yeah.
You don't want to say the thing that is the thing, but you want people to know that you do the thing.
Well, you don't know where you are in that balance situation we talked about. You don't know whether you're in the point of it where you can speak freely. Oh yeah, I did this and I'm that and this is me. Or whether you're, especially if you don't know the person you're talking to yet, you're like, how will they perceive this? Are they ready to hear this about me and entertain that? Also, people aren't always ready to believe that you're more than one thing.
Yeah.
They don't really believe it.
The other thing, that soup can spoil that soup. So I hear you. And I think based on, I'm listening to you speak and I'm thinking, that in itself is a skill to know when to present this to this person and when to, you know what I mean? And it's just having that gut feeling to know, you know what, yeah, you know, building that relationship. So going back to Essa the artist, starting up, looking at all the multiple industry layers, publishing, record companies and whatnot, in your experience, what would you say an artist should prioritize?
Early stages.
Yeah.
Good management is a key thing. You know, people always talk about getting a good deal. I want a deal. I want to get signed. If you build a good relationship with a good manager, that can help a lot of things to work. You know, but I guess, to be honest, before even that comes buzz. In a real simple way, it's like the doors start to open when you're doing something creatively that people respond to. You know?
What about when you're in the door? When you've got your bars together, like the publishing.
I said buzz, not bars, but
the buzz.
Buzz.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
management can come before the buzz, right? Because sometimes management help with the buzz.
Yeah.
But I hear you, when your foot is in the door already, when you're kind of, you've already got some buzz, you got something, what's important then? Yeah, I think management becomes very important then as well, in terms of like, what's the right strategic step, and business-wise, how can I set this up to work well? I'm definitely going to say lawyer as well, because I am one, because people need to think about what relationships they're building and what they're, you know, how they're formalizing those relationships. And fundamentally, that's what I do. I help people formalize a business relationship into like a legal framework that is balanced and fair and right and works for them. And sometimes people, they just go into that blindly, and it can cause problems. You know, it's definitely working with a good lawyer from early is smart as well.
So yeah, absolutely. Can we just double back and say, because you say manager. So when looking for a manager, can you just tell us one key thing you need to pay attention to? Because he's finding the right manager. That's the key word, right?
Yeah, the right manager. I mean,
sometimes you can use your friend, you know, because you find your friend, but then is your friend.
Yeah. Sometimes that goes all the way. That friend-manager partnership can sometimes go all the way to like, you know.
But what are they looking for? What would you say one thing to identify, to say, you know what, this person is good?
If I boil it down to one thing, I would say professionalism.
Right.
What does that mean, though? There's layers to that and what it means. And I think the friend relationship, if they're your friend, that's cool. But if they're just being your friend around you and helping you out like a friend does,
that's an assistant.
That's not necessarily, that's different. That's not a manager. You need someone who is really taking the craft and the profession of being a manager serious, man. You know? Because it's probably one of the hardest jobs in the entertainment business to be a good manager. Because you have to know a lot about all the different areas of activity. You have to build and look after relationships with people from all sorts of different parts of the industry. You have to speak the creative language. You have to speak the business language, the legal language, financial, data language, all sorts these days. So that's why that comes to mind quickly as like a key thing. If you're with a really great manager and you've got good talent and you're building some buzz, something's going to happen.
100%, man. I would add to that quickly, just that person needs to be willing to learn.
Yes.
And progress and learn skills and, you know, want to improve themselves in the field. But when you say professionalism, I get it 100%. It's important the person that represents you, you know,
100%.
knows what to say or what not to say. And if you don't know, say you don't know, and you're going to find out. Yeah, man.
We'll talk.
Sick, man.
Let me grab this. So you know we wouldn't let you come on without having a butchers of what you've been doing. And so listening to your album on the track Back Around, you said, and I quote,
I love that.
My dad.
That was like in court. He's like, and I quote.
Listen, I'm here, innit? I don't know how much you pay. Let me know. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm rolling. Show me the money. Anyway, look. Back on track. So like, yeah. So I'm back around anyway. It's a very, very serious statement. It is. Yeah. You said, my dad was flipping tough, intransigent as uff. Even on the shaky ground, he would stand and didn't budge. What did you mean by that?
So I'm mixed heritage. My mum's English, white. My dad, Igbo, Nigerian.
Hey, Ibekwenu.
And he always had like a traditionally like stern like approach to fatherhood and to raising his kids. So I was pushed a lot, and you know, that gave me a lot of what's carried me through life, to be fair, you know. But it's also, there's a certain level of inflexibility. And where you're starting to reach the point of your life where you're forming your own worldview, your own opinions, you're building your own character, that's a classic father-son clash moment where, you know, he's doing the best he can to do what's right for me based on how he views the world and what he's experienced. And that is like, you do this, you do that, this is how this works. And I might be thinking, well, what about this? Well, and looking at the world from a different generation, different country I grew up in, different all sorts of things. And that's tough. That's the intransigence I'm talking about. Where it's like, you know,
it's not meant to be,
by
the way, intransigence.
And it's not meant to, like that style of approach to parent. It's not a dialogue. It's not, let's figure this out together. It's not, and there's a level on which, like that is, you know, I really respect that because kids need structure. They need to be grounded in some way. You know, I mean, not literally grounded, but that also can happen. But like, you know, you need some kind of clarity on the boundaries in life and where you go, and that's one way of doing it. And sometimes, I mean, I'm a lot more, you know, I discuss a lot more with my children, the older ones, when they're sort of ready to have a discussion about stuff. But if you go too far with that, then where's the structure? Where are the boundaries? And where is the kind of, you know, how do they know where they fit in the world? So you need to have a good balance. Back to this balance concept again. You know?
I mean, it carries us right into the next segment, really, isn't it? Which is, you know, cultural transitioning. And again, just sticking with your album.
And I quote,
"Who are you in the mirror? I haven't had a clue who I am for so long. I'm getting used to it, fam. But what can you do? But do what you can. No one gives a damn." Sounds like you're still on to me, that sounds like you're still on a journey of self-discovery.
100%.
Yeah. So my question to you regarding that is like, what triggers the uncertainty in terms of like, you know, understanding that you're on that journey, and how far does it go in terms of the effect it has on your creative energy and sense of identity?
Wow.
I know.
So that's a profound question. So the uncertainty, I guess, began from early in life. So we're growing up mixed heritage, probably even unconsciously as a child, without being in the forefront of my mind. I'm like, I look different to both my parents, and I feel different to both of them in quite profound, quite sort of fundamental ways.
Right. And
then growing up repeatedly, the world around me is trying to categorize me, fit me into, because it's not just about the racial heritage I've got. So I grew up in a very middle class like background and environment, a lot of quite privileged white kids that I grew up around, and then culturally was drawn to all sorts of other things I got into creatively as well, which brought me into contact with people from all sorts of walks of life, you know. And so people are always trying to figure out, well, who is this guy? Where
put you in a box,
where does he fit into things? And I've never, I guess it's partly because of growing up mixed heritage and with these questions, like you question stuff from early, and where it begins is like, I don't know, where do I fit? What am I? Oh, like I don't understand myself. And so, but then over time, I started to think, why do I have to fit into one or other category? Who says? Like, what are these categories anyway? Even race is a construct, you know, on a fundamental level. And so you start to think, well, hold on, maybe I can just try and carve out my own identity and just live with how I am. But every day, every year, despite being well along that journey, I still get brought back to question and to be confused again. You know, it just comes back. So it's like you said, it's a journey, and I don't think it probably ends. I think it just probably continues, you know, because now I've got children of my own, you know, and that's like, well, what's their identity, and how do it's complex, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always growing as people, aren't we? Always growing, always changing, new conceptions. Like we said, the globe is spinning, you know. have child 1 built into something else, child 2 might shape you up into something, child 3. Get into this opportunity, you know what I mean?
No, you mean that's a good point, and I was trying not to kind of dovetail on top, but I've got to say it, is that you can be a different type of parent even at different stages of your life. So
For sure.
children under your household can have completely different experiences depending on where you are mentally, you know what I'm saying, with what you're doing.
I mean, I'm a middle child as well.
Same.
Right,
And people, you know, I won't do this justice, but there's a lot in what you just said where each child's experience is very different, you know, because of what they've got around them. I was partly brought up by my 2 older sisters, you know, and they're great role models, amazing women. And then I've got a younger brother, and I had, that gave me a sense of some level of responsibility as well. And but my experiences be different to each of them, you know. So yeah, there's a lot in that.
Sorry, your older sister's twins?
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, so you said 3, but you got 4. So you're the middle child.
Well, I say middle, but like
in between.
2.2, yeah.
I was
All right, cool.
They're full maths.
I like the precision.
Yes. Bring out the protractor.
I respect
Bring out
that.
the protractor.
Yeah, no, just but
You said middle.
yeah, pick it out.
What does middle mean to
Even if
you?
your twins didn't make any, but yeah, all good, man. All good.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Do you know who Lynn May is?
Lynn May. No. Tell me.
So she's a social commentator. She creates content. She does stuff on terrestrial TV as well. Anyway, she recently made a statement insinuating that black parents in the West are ill-disciplined and not growing themselves, quote, unquote.
I already don't like her.
Leading, so she's of the opinion that this is what's leading towards the negative youth culture in the black community.
Black parents are to blame for
the
negativity in the
for lack of discipline.
for lack of discipline.
lack of discipline. And her counter argument and example was that these negative behaviors do not exist in Africa or the Caribbean. Yeah. So, do you think some of the old cultural ways get over criticized? And which non-Westernized parenting styles do you think can help push black culture in the UK forward, according to Lynn May's assessment, if you believe in it?
Wow. This is a tough one because I don't know Lynn May's work in much detail. So the first part of your question is about parenting approaches. Say that again?
So, just for better context, when she's speaking, she's of our generation, maybe a little bit younger. Yeah, but she's of that similar generation. So she's made the assumption that
they like
this age group,
discipline,
we like
and they're not
discipline.
grown themselves.
And we're not grown.
So they're
We're
having
trying-
children at a young age and whatnot.
Okay.
and not really parenting correctly.
Not parenting is the
We're trying
cause
to-
of why all this violence and, you know, and, you know, it's going on so profound.
I mean, so it was, you know, I probably shouldn't have said, I already don't like her. That was a joke, right? I don't know
We can cut it.
what
We
it's
can
about.
We won't. Yeah, but,
But
you know.
what I was trying to get at is when it's summed up in that way, it sounds like here's a simple cause-effect situation, whereas I just don't look at things in that kind of way. I imagine there's a lot more to her thinking on this than that snapshot of it. I'm sure there's a whole lot of thinking behind it.
So I would hope so.
But to reduce it down to say that, you know, approaches to parenting are to blame, I mean, but why are those approaches to parenting there? Why is it that people grow up in the conditions in the way that they do? And it's not purely about choices made by those people as parents. There's societal and historical and economic forces at play that kind of shape how people are going to behave. And on a fundamental level, I think, we've all got freedom of choice and we all have responsibility for our actions, but we're also heavily influenced by our circumstances and the situations we find ourselves in. And those have a big effect in shaping how things work. And when you look at black history and black culture, the huge forces of, you know, injustice and, you know, oppression and all sorts of other factors have such a big impact that that's always at play, frankly. You know, and I'm not saying that doesn't excuse someone who has a irresponsible approach to parenting. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we got choice, and some people make bad choices. I'm not saying it's never their fault. That's because of racism, or that's because of what. It's not as simple as that, obviously. But you know, that stuff is always at play with this, and I always get a little. That's why I had that immediate reaction when it's like, this is because of this. I'm like, there's always so much more to it than attributing it to a particular cause. There's layers behind why people behave how they do.
Yeah, and I like the way you've put it, because you've given the answer that you can give, not really being familiar with her work. Me knowing some of her work should probably say, but that doesn't happen in Asian communities. But we're not going to go there. That's
this is something I've got to read up on and find out more about, because you know, the differences between different communities on that would be a very enlightening thing. Maybe make you think, well, what is it about our people, our cultures that you know, that's different, you know?
Mate, come and have some discourse with Nick.
Yeah, educate me. Tell me. I need to learn about this. I need to hear more.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So we move on to the next question. We've got Mobos in the UK, you know, as you know, celebrates music and culture of black origin. Recent studies have shown that black music has contributed over 80%, 2.5 billion, 30 billion, nobody's counting, UK's music revenue over the last 30 years. In your opinion, what things do you think black music industry creators and professionals can do to capitalize from this?
Well, first of all, I want to say big up UK music, big up Eunice, who's had a big role in...
Big up Eunice.
Yeah.
Because you said it now, it'd be mad if I didn't shut. She texted me the other day, funnily enough. Let me just say it quickly. Eunice, big up Eunice quickly. Like, I didn't forget you, innit? Like, yeah, cool, carry on now. But she says, you didn't say it.
But you said, how could black professionals capitalize on this?
Yeah, because that's going across the line saying we don't obviously we don't.
No,
but how do we?
I mean, I think it's a really profound recognition of the value and where it sits. And there's always been this narrative that we've always been feeling, I guess, of like the black community contributes a lot to the creative industries, to the creative economy, but then is taken advantage of, or, you know, you look at the boardrooms and, you know, that doesn't reflect the same makeup of the people that are creating the culture and driving this forward. So that's always been there, but this is giving that some quite specific analysis and putting values on this and showing what the contribution is, which I think is really valuable. So I think it's a very empowering finding.
Yeah.
As to like how to use it on a practical level, I guess it could probably influence like what you reach for and what you push for, where you know the value of what you do. Then you're more likely to push and assert yourself to receive fair value for what you do. And, you know.
So if they were to give you 30 million, here you go, Nick, Essa. What are you doing with it? 30 billion. What are you doing with it for?
Your community.
Yeah, no pressure.
Woo. The community that contributed so much.
30 billion.
Oh, man. So I think education and skills, key. So I think financial literacy, legal literacy, these kinds of things are key to enabling people to navigate their careers in the most effective way. So part of that money would definitely go towards the right kind of training and development for people and education to give them the tools they need to succeed. There's also challenges with access to funding. So I see a lot of very bright, very talented, very capable people who are not getting the shot that they deserve and could really run with, because the way that overall the funding is distributed. This is not me pointing a finger of blame at any funding organization in particular. I'm just talking more generally.
Legal disclaimer.
I can't help myself.
Yeah.
But like the way that money flows through the system, it doesn't necessarily always go to those people. You know, it goes elsewhere, a lot of it. And I would address that. I would give that shot and that opportunity to people who have got the talent and the drive and the professionalism to do the right things with it and to thrive from it as well.
Just with that, you said something very interesting a minute ago. Obviously, you're exposed to various rooms that many people from what I would consider to be the community are not, right? I.e., the rooms that you walk into. do you see, when you walk into these rooms, do you feel that there's enough representation? Is there a reflection of you when you're in these rooms with these people in the UK, like in terms of from the community?
It's changed over time. I mean, when I first started in the business as a entertainment lawyer, well, specifically music actually, because I do work in other areas beyond music, but specifically as a music lawyer, I was taken out for dinner by 2 or 3 people, which was like mainly the black music lawyers in the scene at that time. It was a handful of people. There we were around a table, no bigger than this. And then fast forward to now, there's a lot more people working in this space, you know, from our community, which is a great thing to see. So there's definitely been change. But when you look at the makeup of boardrooms and senior leadership and ownership, the ownership tier, I guess, across a lot of the entertainment industry, is still not as diverse as I would love to see it be. So there are often rooms I walk into where I feel like, you know, the outsider. I mean, going back to some of the stuff we talked about earlier, I always feel like an outsider in most rooms I walk into, if I'm honest, on some level. So that I can't distinguish at certain points. Like I feel like that anyway, because I can walk into a room full of black people and feel like an outsider sometimes.
That's fair.
Right.
So
That's very
it's
fair.
just part of the way I experience life.
Walking in between worlds.
Well, it's the walking in between worlds thing. I'm
Yeah.
kind of always in between. You know, I never really feel fully like, you know, based in or at home in a particular place. Just kind of how I've grown to be, you know.
I've definitely walked into rooms and not felt like necessarily welcomed.
Right.
When I say that, I don't mean it that in the sense that, you know, anyone was doing anything specifically negative towards me. But when you don't see a representation, a clear representation of yourself across the table, and it looks all different, and most probably you probably think a bit different, it's harder to get your ideas across.
Definitely.
Because there's no support.
And you question yourself, you're unsure of. So we talked earlier about one of these dynamics where when do you ask someone, when you tell someone about something else you do creatively, you know, if you've got a side activity, whatever you do, and you need to understand the dynamic. You need to read the room. You need to know if you're in a code switching, right? If you're in a room of people where you cannot get a read on that because you feel so different to them, you don't know when the right moment is to take a certain step or you know, be more forward about something, or like you just can't read it. You can't read the room as effectively when you can't see yourself in that room. It's harder.
Sick.
A bit more about your album. So this year you released your 17-track album Resonance Deluxe.
Yes.
Resonance was originally a 13-track release in 2024, correct?
Correct.
So that's a 2-year difference. It's like a re-release, more tracks. What was your general thinking behind that?
So the album's a collab album between me and a producer called Pitch 92.
Right.
And when I first connected with him, we just struck a chord like straight away, and a lot of music was coming, you know, like we were really putting together some good material. And so even from early, I thought, maybe this is more than an album's worth of stuff. So we did the original album, always planning to do like a deluxe as well, to kind of have something to move on to, and also to kind of prolong the exposure for it, because I make kind of music for the long listen, you know? Like I don't make, or never say never, but like I'm not really a club banger, you know, vibesy type of tune guy.
Fiction character, introspective.
It's more
material,
headphone music, more like sit and soak in, you know, and maybe come back to it and play it again and like, oh, now I understand what this is about, that type of thing. So I was trying to find ways to bring it back to people. And this is another way where like the album came out, but then while after it's like, well, look at this album again and here's some extra material as well from it. Like we did some remix versions of some of the tracks with like extra people on them. And then there were just other tunes that, it's not like they didn't make the album, but like we made more knowing that we wanted to give more later, you know. So that's what was behind it. And then also we put the instrumentals out there as well for people.
Yeah, I saw that still on Spotify. But it's also a masterclass in how to manage productivity. That's what I'd say. That's what I take from it anyway.
I'll take that. I appreciate that.
Cool. So How do you feel about today's UK hip hop industry? Is there even a UK hip hop industry?
Yeah, I mean, what I love is that there is a real diversity of different styles and sounds and scenes and genres, sub-genres within hip hop as a whole in the UK, you know, which there didn't used to be. There used to be a time when the labels would be like, oh, we've got a rapper. We don't need another. We can't do another one. Like, whereas now there's like all kinds of the whole different lanes and styles of music where people can have a whole ecosystem within that. There's a long way to go still, don't get me wrong, but I'm just very happy to see it.
I hear it.
Would you ever try a drill song?
I mean, there's a new album I've been working on with my brother Doc Brown.
Okay.
They got Doc Brown still.
Album.
Yeah.
So
for those who don't know, Doc Brown, old school UK hip hopper. His brother raps as well, innit?
His brother raps as well, Luke Skies.
That's it, Luke Skies. His sister's a writer. Very talented family.
Incredibly talented family. And he is, you know, rapper, writer, you know, author, actor, comedian, all sorts,
many
right?
strings,
But there's some stuff on there that's not drill, but like the tempo or the bounce to it is more like that. It's different from the kind of boom bap type of whatever you would call it. For me, it's more the neo soul type, whatever, that style of tempo and drum pattern. But but drill, me. I don't think. I mean, I'm not sure people will need that.
I'm gonna tell a story about a very popular man. I'm gonna tell a story in the early 2000s, about a very popular man on Radio 1. Whose name we shall not mention at this time. Me and the group, we used to have this group, Strictly Business, whatever. We went Radio 1, we did our radio interview.
Strictly Business.
Oh, you know, we're doing that thing again, isn't it? Trying to it's that thing in
my little thing,
that little, you know, that little Strictly Business thing.
Strictly Business.
Yeah.
One of the first rap labels
in the UK, independent.
Carry on.
Yeah, so we went. So I'm still trying to like squeeze it, but so we went down there. We were at Radio 1 and was chatting with certain individuals, and at the time, garage was popping. It was the transition between garage and grime.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it was really heavily garage influence. And we're like, oh, do you know what? We might do, because it felt very UK, innit? So it's like, we might do a bit of garage. He goes, yeah, man, you know, just do it. By all means, man, whatever's popping. But don't bring that to me.
Wow. So
it was locked down. A year or two later,
that stuff
if you don't know about me, I was like, what's going on? You said you weren't into that. I don't know. It's mad for me.
Trend.
But it just goes to show how quickly, you know, the landscape can change, which kind of dovetails into the next question. And there's this thing where there's a general feeling, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, where it doesn't feel like UK flowers. It doesn't feel like UK music really busts or got the flowers that it sometimes deserves.
Right.
Like, what do you think was the reason for that? And do you think, just like you said now, with genres like grime or Afro beats getting involved, it's kind of giving a new relevance, because they class it as hip hop sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So it's giving it a new...
I mean, I think historically the challenge was always that hip hop was born in America.